What's up, Dragon Brood? I just gotta say, y'all gotta know I love you because I'm still trying to record this with the AC off and everything else, just so y'all don't have to have that noise in the background. So hopefully you appreciate that. Matter of fact, for at least the next 3 days, y'all should hit the like button on every video because I'm making them all hot and sweaty and everything. Not like hot and sweaty like OnlyFans hot and sweaty, but I'm making them hot and sweaty just to make sure you also have content every day like normal. Having to record very early in the morning and very late in the evening to make it as easy as possible. So show me some love, please. Share the channel around. Remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But today, we're going to go back to the well that we just went to like last week, and we're going to play some JUND. And the reason I'm doing this is because the last JUND deck I made was more just like trying some different things, right? So we're seeing if we could do something different in that mid-rangey space. This one, I kind of went and looked around and said, okay, what does the metagame look like right now? And can we build a deck that has enough version or enough answers to different things to hang with a lot of the decks in the meta? And what does that look like? And then I kind of started mixing and matching the numbers, and I think we came to a pretty good deck list. We actually performed very well. I believe on last night's stream, by the time you watch this, I guess it was earlier today, but we ended up going 5-3, and then yesterday we went 3-1. So combined, I think that's a total of, what if my math works, 8-4. So that's actually pretty solid. And we got to play against a lot of different meta stuff. So no real complaints. I mean, overall, it really held its own and performed pretty well. So hopefully y'all enjoy this, as this is more of a conventional plan for JUND. But, you know, I will let y'all decide what that looks like. And if you like it or not, let's get to it. All right, just quick reminder, if you haven't, check out my supporters over at Ultra Pro at shop.ultrapro.com. If there's anything you like there, you can take the item number and the name and take it to your local store and have them order it. And you help your local store out. They make their normal margins and make their sales. And you get to help me out in Ultra Pro. And Ultra Pro's all for this. They support the local game stores. I just want to put that out there if you're looking to get some new gear as we get back to playing in our local stores again. Now, for today's deck list, we're going to be playing 4 Heartless Act. And I know this is interesting where people probably said, why just 4? This could be switched up, or maybe if you want to have, I don't know, like an Eliminate, or if you want to go with Blood Chief's Thirst. Like, there's some other options. But for this, I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to go with the Heartless Acts and see what happens. And then we got 3 Valky, God of Lies, both for this deck, playable early and late. Lotus Cobra, just to kind of help our mana, move things along. Also, in a lot of cases, Lotus Cobra forces your opponent to make a play on turn 2 that they may not necessarily want to make, right? If they have a way to kill a creature, sometimes they kind of just have to put themselves in a position and say, okay, can we risk the opponent having 4 mana next turn or 5 or 6 mana the following turn? And it's like, I kind of just need to kill this. You know, so it slows your opponent down while you get to set up and play things, which is pretty nice. Then we have a Bone Crusher Giant. There's not a lot to say about this card that we haven't said for the last 2 years. Kazandu Mammoth. Now, we're only playing 2 Mammoth, and I know that looks a little weird, but again, this was more of like squeezing card numbers and trying to figure out, you know, trying to balance the metagame or whatever. And the truth is, there's just a lot of situations where Mammoth just doesn't do enough, right? It's a 3-3 that can become a 5-5, and that's fine. But, you know, if you're playing against another aggro deck, you're not really attacking much anyway, so it's just going to be a 3-3. It does serve as an extra land, which is important in this list, and that's actually more of its function than anything else, the way these games play out most of the time. Then we're playing 2 Klothys, God of Destiny. Now, I am a big fan of Klothys. Very rarely is Klothys ever going to be active and become a creature. We're really playing it here just for its upkeep ability. And truthfully, it does work both ways because we actually sometimes do want the mana from Klothys, but a lot of times we just want to deal that extra 2 damage and get that life gain out of it, which is pretty nice. The other thing, though, I will say is Klothys is very good in those matchups against rogues. You know, you're just trying to nick some cards and keep them out of your graveyard. It's decent against long games when you're playing against any type of blue-white control, any type of slow Yorion decks, you know, Dimir control, you know, the blue-black decks. Like, this is the card you want because it's hard for them to remove, and it actually keeps removing stuff from the yard and dealing continual damage. So it's actually a really good card for this situation. Then we have 3 Eska's Chariot. And I debated a lot on if this was going to be 3 or 2. And then it was like, okay, if I want to go 2 of these, then I'm going to go to a 3rd Kazandu Mammoth. And there was a lot of just push and pull here trying to figure out what was the best card in the slot. And ultimately what I decided is I do want this card in a few situations, right? It's good against anything that has sweepers, so we can follow up with something and still attack. It's good against stuff like Sultai Ultimatum, you know, where they have 2 or 3 different sweepers, actually, depending on the build. So this does a pretty good amount of work. Also not bad against the aggro decks. Like against mono red, and I don't know if we have one of these on camera. We played so many games. Obviously, they're not all going to be here in the video. But we did have a game against mono red where we were able to play it, get 2 blockers, plus another creature out, and that was enough to turn the game around. So even that little bit goes a long way. Then we have 3 Questing Beasts. Just couldn't justify playing 4. Honestly, this almost got cut to 2, but I decided to leave it at 3. Then we're playing 2 Binding of the Old Gods, just because it's a good all-around answer. And we don't play that many Forest. So that's one of the reasons we're not going ham here, really, and playing 4 of them anyway, because we wouldn't have that many cards to go get, potentially. Then we have 2 Mortality Spear. This is just kind of a catch-all to be able to destroy things. With Questing Beast and with Clothis, there are some times we'll get to play this cheaper. Not often, but every once in a while. Then we have 4 Goldspan Dragons, because the card's just good in here. Elder Gargaroth, same thing. This card really just pulls a lot of weight in this deck. Arguably, we could probably be trying to play a 3rd Gargaroth if we really went for it. And then we're playing 2 Turn Timber Symbiosis, 2 Shatterskull Smashing. Again, we could probably go to 1 and 1 on these, but I wanted to try them out for now because having a late game search card to go get one of our big creatures, or even something with haste, is actually pretty good here. And then this is just, if we're generating mana, we can take out a couple of things on the opponent's side. Lands, this is where it gets messy and we're all over the place, because the truth is, that's the downside to JUND, is your mana base has to be accounting for multiple instances of each color at different stages of the game, and it's really hard to balance that. So this is where we ended up. We have 1 Swamp, 2 Mountain, 2 Forests. Those are the basics. Then we got 3 Blightstep Pathway, which is the red-black one, 1 Temple of Malice, 4 Darkboar Pathway, because green is the most important color, so, you know, we do want to make sure we have that. 1 Temple of Plenty, 4 Cragcrown Pathways, 1 Temple of Abandon, and 2 Fable Passage. And again, I know some people are going to say, well, you're playing Cobra, why aren't you playing 4 Fable Passage? But there's a lot of stuff going on here, right? We want some of the temples, so we want to get those in there for the multicolor aspect. And honestly, even being able to scry is actually pretty good in the early part of the game. But if we have the combination of Fable Passages and we have the Binding of the Old Gods, we can end up in a situation where we just don't have that many basics to go get. And you really don't want that, since we only have 5 basics. If we draw a couple of them, then there's a chance we may not even be able to go search for anything. So you don't want to make your other cards useless when we have other options we can play. And we're not relying on Cobra. It's just very nice to have. But otherwise, that's it in the main deck. So, you know, like usual, we're going to play our games. And then catch up with me on the back side of the games, because we'll talk about changes we'd make to this list and how we want to update it. And then we'll have a card spotlight for you from all of Magic. And maybe you'll get to learn a little something. See what we can put on top. We will definitely leave that. That's like the best thing we can have with the Lotus Cobra. Ooh, Vintage Asparagus Sentinel, I don't know. We'll find out. Alright, so we could actually Cobra, Fable Passage, get Questing Beast, or Chariot, depending on what we think is more reasonable. It's very likely this opponent is going to have some type of like giant killer or something of that nature. Okay, this sort of causes a problem, right? Because we could Heartless Act and really kind of put a damper on their mana too here. So I kind of have to decide what's more important. Boy. All right. So we're going to do this. I'm going to get green and get black. Because I really, really, really want to kill that Jeskai Sentinel. I'm not joking. I want to, like, irrationally badly want to kill it. But I feel like if we don't draw a land, this is going to be embarrassingly bad for us. So I feel like I got to take the forest anyway, so we have double green, just no matter what happens here. Man, I want to play Questing Beast here. I think we just Questing Beast. I think we just do it. And if they have, like, Giant Killer or something, so be it. I think we eat it. Or actually, if we're worried about that, why don't we just play Eska's Chariot here? Alright, let's do that. I'm going to play Eska's Chariot. And then I'll attack, because I don't need both Cobras at this point. Let's see what the opponent does. Alright, so a Magda. That is going to let them get some mana. Kind of good, though, that we can actually get to kill the Magda, so that's pretty sweet. Or we could kill whatever they play next. I mean, we do have to get another land. But lots of opportunities open up here. Okay. Come on, land. Come on, land. Be there. It's a land. It's not the land we wanted, but it's a land. All right. Does just the same, though. So we'll pay the 3. I'm going to get red. Because then we could just use the Heartless Act from the dragon. So it doesn't really matter what we get, truthfully. Alright, so we'll just play the dragon. Then we'll activate this duder. Tapping this and this. Because attacking with 2/2s is going to be better because we don't trade with the Jeskai Sentinel. Alright, so we're going to attack. After we create our treasure, we're going to blow up the treasure to kill the Magda, I believe is what we want to do here. Copy a token. Get our treasure. Kill Magda. So that's a big attack. That's 12. I mean, yeah, I don't know if the opponent comes back from this. Unless they sweep the board or something, I guess. But then we have a Questing Beast. And the mana to play it. So that's fine, too. Yeah, they're at 6. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. They have access to 5 mana here. Technically, they can block the dragon with the Jeskai Sentinel, so that's a thing. But they'd have to be making... Yeah, that's not nearly enough. That doesn't do anything here. Sure. This is just playing with yourself for sport. Yep. What do we do with this? I mean, I guess we keep it. I mean, we're going to have to hope to draw some stuff here, but, like, this seems fine. Oh, not against this. The wrong time to keep this hand. Oh, we're going to get toasted. I'm going to leave this on top, but I have a feeling we're going to lose it to a Robber of the Rich. Which, yeah, if we do, we do. There's nothing we can do about it. And I think our situation's going to be... Oh, okay, it wasn't. All right. All right. Well, that's a little better then. All right, we're just going to pass in anticipation of trying to Heartless Act like an Anax or something here if we have to. I don't love it, but I get it. I mean, we're still going to be able to get Embercleaved into oblivion, but... all we can do is what we can do. We're at 19, so we'll try to keep this at some reasonable level. This sucks, because my intention was to play this turn. I think I need to put this into play tapped. Mostly because we're going to anticipate there being an Embercleave. There was definitely an Embercleave. Alright. So our hope here is we're just going to not block. Let them Embercleave. We'll just take whatever we're going to take. Alright. Oh no, I was like, we needed to draw a land that was untapped so we could set up next turn is the problem. That's not good. Okay, well, we're gonna need an untapped land off the top, I guess. That's the only way we can survive this. And even then, it's not guaranteed, but we're gonna be leaning on this Gargaroth. Like here, we just have to block, like, and trade for something. But if they attack with the Faceless Haven, we take 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's... we're still going to take a lot here, though. I think it's still going to put us dead the following turn, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we don't have a way to survive that now. Because even if we gain 3... What's the best we could do? We go to 7, we block 4, we take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... I mean, I guess we're technically not dead by doing that. And we know what's in their hand. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing. They could top deck something to kill our Gargaroth, though, from the Robber of the Rich, which is very unfortunate. But we kind of just got to do it. Now, if the Gargaroth lives, we do get to get 3 life and then 3 life more. And that makes a big, big difference. All right, don't be something good. Oh, no. No. Damn it. Golly. Oh, if they could have gotten anything else that was worthless, we'd have been all right. Oh, man. Yeah, we're dead. Because we can only go to 7. They're going to shoot us. Yeah, we're dead. Wait, what? They didn't... Okay, I mean, they could have killed us anyway. That's a weird way to go about it. But we drew nothing anyway. We drew too many mana sources. Alright. Yeah, opponent could have just killed us. Yeah, we'll keep this. That is an entertaining card, but I'm going to put it away. We need to find more mana. And the opponent did not play a thing there. Okay. Just going to leave that up. Since we have 2 things we can play one this turn and one next turn. Alright, I guess here we're just costing the opponent cards, which I'm kind of okay with. I mean, obviously they can just discard to protect it. We're fine with that. Though now I'm going to be regretting not having the, Oh, well. I was about to say I was going to regret not having the Binding of the Old Gods whenever they play the other Maul of the Skyclaves. Because the fact that they discarded one means they either don't have lands in hand or they have another one already. And I'm going to bet it's that they already have another one. So we're just going to play this kind of into the hopes that we draw something relevant. Because otherwise we're kind of screwed. And then we'll get black mana, I guess. And just use the Heartless Act. I mean, it's not like the way we want to use this, but it does ultimately force the opponent to use another card. Maybe we'll get lucky and can put Gargaroth in front of something. Because if we get an untapped land next turn, we could just straight up play Gargaroth. Or maybe we play Questing Beast. Like, I don't know. Probably Gargaroth, though. And then force them to have something to kill the Gargaroth. Then if they do, it just gets ugly. Oh, no, they had a Skyclave Apparition instead. Okay. Well, no Gargaroths for us unless we go land at this point. That does not help us. No mana means we're not going to be able to play much. Body of Research, Gnarlid combo. That's random, but cool. Give your big Body of Research trample. I dig it. That's interesting. And the opponent doesn't want to discard a card by attacking. I feel like that says a lot. Alseed. Alright, so we're going to have to destroy the Maul. So I'm trying to figure out what combat looks like here, right? We could destroy the Maul, the Skyclaves. The Apparition comes down. We could block. They protect the Apparition. We Mortality Spear something. Because just playing Questing Beast doesn't do anything here, I don't think. So we just pass. Alright. Makes sense. So with us being at 10, what does the opponent want to do here? Okay. Actually, you know what? The play actually could have been... No, that would have been worse. We don't want to do that. Alright. Let's destroy them all. I mean, really, we're kind of just banking on this Gargaroth hitting and sticking. And even then, it's probably not going to be enough. Because we're going to take 7, go to 3. We don't get to kill anything here. I'm trying to think what's the best thing we could draw next turn, because... Alright, if we block here, though, we at least get the Bonecrusher Giant next turn. Even if they save the Apparition. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we go to 3. Questing Beast is fine, not great. But it does give us also 2 different color creatures. Alright, so we got that part. Alright, let's hope they don't have it. Well, I say that. We're not dead anyway, because even if they have... Well, I don't know. I feel like if they had it, they would have tried to play it last turn. If they had a giant killer. Or did they just save it for the Gargaroth? They might have. They might have. Oh no. Oh no. What's happening? Why are we doing this? Why? Why? What's happening? Why? What? I'm so confused. What happens if we do this? Okay. And then gain 3? Is there something I don't know about? Nope. Okay. All right. We're in business then, y'all. Turn 2 Hollow Blade. They had the... Oh. I think... No, we're just going to do this. We're just going to do this. Game 3. All right. Yeah, that ain't gonna cut it. Yep, we blocking. Oh, so good. So good. Ugh. We'll see. Yeah, we'll keep it. Because if we can get a couple of untapped lands, like this hand actually turns pretty awesome, potentially. Oh, and the opponent also starting out a little slow, so that helps us out. That's a good sign. Maybe they'll play something with a small toughness that we could shoot. Do we want red or... I'm going to do this. Yeah, I think that's what we want. Ooh, Kazandu Mammoth. How do we feel about that? I mean, I guess it's fine. It doesn't really do much one way or the other, all things considered right now. I mean, alright. I guess we'll just play a Cobra. I mean, I doubt it's going to live very long, but sure. I mean, this might be a game where we're just living on hasty creatures, because I have a feeling if this is blue-white control, there's going to be a bunch of board sweepers and Oblivion Rings and whatever other stuff. Banishing Lights. I still call it Oblivion Ring from back in the day. Oh, no, this is Jeskai. Okay. Well, that changes things a little bit. Oh, this is what we're doing. Well, great. Sadly, I don't have a removal card in hand. So we kind of just have to do this, which sucks. Yep, that's not what we're looking for. Okay, well, opponent's got a freebie turn. They could just go off. I don't mind combos, but like you shouldn't be able to combo this easy on like turn 4 or 5. Like I like combos if you have to work for them. If they're like, but even then they have to have multiple parts in hand, so I guess it's fine. I mean, I did play the Gruul combo deck, but it was like you had to have several mana and 2 or 3 different things plus, you know, like the right board state. And kind of revolved around having like a Burji, like, so there was all kinds of stuff happening. Yeah, no blocks. Yep, C-Dash Octopus makes sense. They're gonna get back the Insubstantiate. Yep. What do we want to do here? I mean, we are just gonna die, right? Because we're now at the point we can't really do much. So we kind of end up in a bad spot here because we either have to gamble on the opponent not having the combo pieces and then just breaking them up mid-combo, or we just go for it, let them counter a spell. Yeah, this is just bad. I think we're just going to die. This is just one of those starts that doesn't do anything, unfortunately. I mean, we really just have to hope the opponent screws up, so we get a chance to sneak this Mortality Spear in. Otherwise, we're going to do nothing here. I mean, we could try to, like, double shoot it with Bone Crusher, make them use the Unsubstantiate on their turn, and then try to Mortality Spear or some such. Like, that's probably our next best bet. Oh, they gave us an opportunity. This is actually perfect, because now we can use both these Bone Crusher Giants, and we could use Snapdax, or use the Mortality Spear on Snapdax. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is all the mana we can make. So that's not going to give us enough to do what we want to do. So I say we go ahead and just put in this Kazandu Mammoth. Get black, I guess. Doesn't really matter. then we'll attack. All right, we at least bought a little bit of time. I don't know how much, because they still have a pretty full hand over there. We'll have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana next turn, unless we find Fable Passage. All right, that's cool. They know we can still play both Bonecrusher Giants. That's neat for emergency scenarios, I guess. Want to return one? Okay. They may be playing that just to protect whatever the next part is if they found other combo pieces. Otherwise, we're going to get to attack for 8, and that ain't bad. Oh, they're just taking 2 and returning it. Ew. That's really good for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let's go ahead and attack. See what they want to do to this Bonecrusher. Nothing? Nope, just a 4-ball. Okay. Let's go ahead and play this. So I guess if... Well, they don't even have any mana open to counter, so it'd just be, can they just kill something? Oh, forgot. They do have that. That's fine. We'll just play this other Bonecrusher Giant. Because now we just have lethal if they don't have anything. All right, we'll see what the opponent does here. This worked out pretty well for us, all things considered. All right, attacking with the dragon. All right, maybe there's another counter over there. I could see that being a thing. Or are they going to try to combo off here? I mean, you could spend 3 to mutate, but you don't have the make mana thing in your yard, so that's not going to get you there. Yeah, let's see what they do. Okay, Prismari command, but that's... Okay, they're just dead then. Yeah, not sure why they would do that on their turn. Well, I don't know. Unless your other card's a counter, but I'm not sure what you'd be filtering for then if that were the case. Alright, see if we can get them to counter something. No, they're out of counters. They're dead. Unless it's something that counters a non-creature or whatever. Which is possible. Nope, they're just dead. Alright, that works. Well, yeah, this actually was really good, and this played very much like we wanted it to, so that was very good. As for changes, I actually kind of liked a lot of it. The only real changes I think I would consider is probably finding room for a couple of things that actually just exile cards outright. I think we had a couple of situations where it'd be nice to like just exile an Anax, or maybe even a couple of things in the mono white list, or being able to exile something whenever your opponent has like a selfless savior out would also be good. So maybe a couple of Baleful Masteries in place of maybe one of the Mortality Spears and one Heartless Act could be pretty good. And, then you could probably just juggle the cards around and kind of figure out what works for you from there. But that's probably the only major change I would make from here. Surprisingly, we only had one situation, I believe, even with the game's off camera, that actually even had any mana issues, which was really surprising to me because I thought we were going to have more than that. But it actually worked out okay overall. So I think the mana, while I won't say it's great, I'm sure it could be a little bit cleaner, but it actually worked out pretty well as is. Now for today's card spotlight, we're going to talk about Parallel Evolution. And this is a simple one to talk about. Like, this is literally just coming back to the thing I've mentioned before in some of the other card spotlights. It's just that any card that doubles or multiplies or does anything to counters or tokens is always going to have value in the game of Magic. Like, there's always somebody who's going to want that in a commander deck. There's always a kitchen table game where somebody's going to want a billion squirrels or a billion goblins or whatever the case is. So yeah, this card's worth money too. Even though it looks like a junky rare, and honestly, this is a case of where a card in standard, or when it was standard legal, didn't see hardly any action at all. And it probably even went a year or two even after being standard legal, not being worth much. But the longer it's not reprinted, the value goes up and up and up and up before these things are like somewhere between $8 and $15. You know, it happens with quite a few cards. So pretty much, if you see anything that doubles or in any way gives extra counters or tokens, always get them, stash them away. They're going to be worth something. Don't forget, if you want today's deck list, it will be in the description down below. And while you're there, take a look at the other links I have. I have a bunch of stuff linked, including my podcast, if you haven't checked it out. Links to both of my streams over on Facebook Gaming and on Twitch. And you can come over and say hi and hop into our Discord. We've been having all kinds of fun conversations over there, and we have more than 500 people hanging out in the Discord now. So thank you all that have come and joined. The Brood has been very supportive. And finally, if you haven't, please, as I'm building up sweat now, even while I say this, please hit the like button. Show love and appreciation, not just to me, but to all of your content creators, that you enjoy their content, especially right now during the trying summers here in the US where people are just struggling and sweating and uncomfortable. Like, give us some love, hit those like buttons, because that helps us be seen by more people and helps build us up. Maybe even help some of your favorite content creators afford some AC. You never know. And then, as usual, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you hadn't. Show me how much you appreciate my content. And then to hit that notification bell, because that's for you to let you know every time I have a video up. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.